Hey everybody, Ben here from the Bonehead podcast, and welcome to Death Zone Mercenaries Legendary Linemen. So, if you've got hold of the Death Zone book, which should be out this Saturday, you will see in there is a huge section about mercenaries. They kind of are optional, bear that in mind, but they replace the old school lineman with an extra skill for a million K or whatever it was. Now you've got 5 different types to choose from, and in those 5 different types you've got a bunch of traits you can give them. You can give them skills, and you can adjust their stats upwards and downwards. It leaves millions of combinations. So what we decided to do was we decided to go through one by one each of the classes of mercenaries that your team can take, have a look at the options, and see if we can't get our head around just what these guys bring to your team. So the starting place for the Legendary Lineman is 50k. Now you can take up to 3 mercenaries on your team as inducements. Up to two of them, can be Legendary Linemen. They're 50,000, movement 6, strength 3, edge 3+, passing 4+, armor 9+, and loner 4+ as their only skill. So yes, 50k for a human lineman is where it starts. Now it's not that cheap because you must upgrade one thing, okay? You have to give them one upgrade from, just at least one upgrade from one of the 3 categories. So you can give them trait packages, so things like chainsaws. You can upgrade their skills and stats as well, so you can boost their movement to movement 7, or you could give them block or something like that. You have to take at least one upgrade. You can downgrade stats as well, so this is the starting point. Let's have a look at the massive menu of options you get. So here's 2 categories of upgrades here for you. So Legendary Linemen get General, Agility, Passing, and Mutation skills. So no strength skills can be taken on Legendary Linemen. That's fine. We've got the brutal blockers for that. We'll look at that some other day. So Legendary Linemen, you can give them 1 General skill for 20k. You can give them 2 or more General skills for 30k apiece. So if you want to take a Legendary Lineman and give him block, that's 70k. If you want to give them block and tackle, that would be 50k plus 30 plus 30, so 110k. It's a way of kind of balancing skill spam. You can give them 1 agility skill for 30k, 1 passing skill for 20k, but it may not be leader. In fact, worth mentioning that general skill may not be dirty player. And you can give them mutations as well. 1 mutation for 30k or 2 or more mutations for 40k each, but that can only be taken by favoured of X teams, so your chaos teams and stuff like that. Stats wise, you can boost their stats. You can give them up to, what is it the rules say, you can improve any stat by, you can improve or you can increase or decrease any stat by up to 2. Movement, passing, and armor. So 20k for movement, 30k for passing, and 20k for armor. And then you can decrease a stat by up to 2 for -10. Now, what we're seeing from some of the builds and mercenaries is you're dropping 20k of your initial cost off by getting rid of 2 passing points. It's interesting. We went into this edition thinking, passing's been nerfed. Actually, when you hire a lineman, it's more important to get some beefy skills, to get something really special from them, than take away the opportunity to pass with them. You've got other players to do that. So by dropping 20k of their cost, you can make a bit of room in your budget for some skills. Now that can't be, you cannot take it below 50k, so you can't end up with a 30k human lineman, cunning as it is. What you can do is take 2 points off your passing to save 20k, and then take that block skill, give you a block lineman with loner 4+ for 50k. And then you've got the trait packages. So we're going to have a quick look through these, and then we're going to look at the players as archetypes. And we'll go into that in a second. So you can, for 60k, loner 5+, dirty player +1, and sneaky git. For 90k, loner 5+, dirty player +2, and sneaky git. So if you want somebody who's going to run around and stomp people, it's going to cost you at least, well, it's going to cost you 140k to start with. That can be taken by Badlands, Favoured, Old World, Sylvanian Underworld, and World's Edge Super League teams. So most of them, basically, not elves. Bombardier Secret Weapon can be given to your player for 40k. Stab and Secret Weapon can be given to them for 20k. And a Chainsaw with no hands and Secret Weapon for 60k. So with that massive amount of option, it gets a bit overwhelming. So what we thought we'd do is we'd look at the skill traits, the trait packages first, because a chainsaw player is going to start at this cost. Then you can kind of work backwards, add skills, add and remove stats from there. So we'll look through some of the trait archetypes here to give you more of an idea. In a league, for example, I think the trait archetypes are a really good place to start if you want to offer your mercenaries to players in a league. So Dirty Player plus 1 human, 110k, movement 6, strength 3, edge 3 plus, passing 4 plus, armor 9 plus, loner 4 plus. Loner 5 plus. This one comes with Dirty Player plus 1 and Sneaky Git. So Dirty Player, Sneaky Git, 110k. And the Dirty Player plus 2 option, so that's 140k. So if you wanted to take a Fowler to just mop up your line, and this can be taken by a majority of teams, it's 140k. Now in the world of inducements, that isn't a lot, okay? That's less than most wizards. In fact, that's less than all wizards, with the exception of Horatio. You get a dude all game long. Now, armor 9 plus and strength 3 is pretty reasonable, and you can just chuck them on the line if you need to, but actually, Dirty Player plus 2, and the fact it does stack with guard, you're going to have a really reliable Fowler here. But this is where the fun stuff begins. So the bomber archetype of a lineman, 90,000. Okay, so we've got a bit of a drought of star players, I suppose, at the moment. We've lost a lot of the old regulars. We've lost Boomer. We've lost Nobbler Blackwart. This is a way to build your own. So the bomber begins at 90k. Standard lineman stats, including passing 4+, loner 4+, bombardier, and secret weapon. So yeah, secret weapon, but 90k you can have a bomber. Now, we did it's not a joke, but we did discuss the fact that you can drop some stats to save yourself some cash. With your bomber, you don't want to remove passing. What you can do, though, is you could remove a couple of points of strength, or a couple of points of agility, or even a couple of points of armor. Potentially not a great idea, as you may blow yourself up, but it can reduce your cost. Remember, the minimum cost here is 50k, so if you take away a bunch of stats and skills, if you take away a bunch of stats, you can reduce the bomber cost right the way down. But you can also improve the bomber. You can add passing stats, so you can build yourself a 2+ passing bombardier. And how much would that cost? I don't know. What was passing stat up? Probably 30k. That would give you a pretty meaty bombardier. Anyway, starting with the bomber at 90k, you can then upgrade from there. Interesting one here, we can take a stab archetype. So, poor man's chainsaw basically, 70k, human lineman stats with stab and secret weapon. Again, we said you can drop a couple of stats. This might not be a terrible way to go against a low armor team. For example, Wood Elves, something like that. They're going to deploy guys on the line. If you take a stab secret weapon player, actually, you can save 20k, drop in a couple of points of passing, for example, for 50k, a stab. Now, stab isn't great, but against dodge and against blodge players, a stab is a superb attack, especially when they're armor 8+. What's the chances of beating armor 8+? I don't know, 40% or something like that. Those aren't bad odds to cause at least a stun on a blitz. You can't reroll stab, so it doesn't matter that you've got loner. Stab is sneaky useful, and for 70k to start with, you get a lot of option here, but the only one anyone really cares about is the chainsaw. So 110k for a human lineman with a chainsaw and secret weapon and no hands. So let's have a think. How much are the chainsaw star players? They're around the 130, 140k mark. They're gone now. Okay, if you are allowing mercenaries in your league, you can start with a human lineman with a chainsaw with no stat reductions for 110k. You can add stat. So if you wanted to give them block, you can. That's 130. If you wanted to improve their movement, you can. If you wanted to improve their strength, you can. You can build your own style player, and it comes at a really good budget. So if you want a chainsaw, 110k. Now, not every team can take it, but all the ones that are likely to want a chainsaw can. Okay, so by now you may have seen our review of Death Zone, where we talk about mercenaries and how to get them into your leagues and things like that. You can probably tell from this video that there is a lot of powerful combinations, and we've seen powerful combinations in the other mercenaries as well. So you can build a pretty decent big guy and a leader stunty for 30k. You can also build like a chainsaw for 70k. Alright, there's a huge amount of mix and match that you can do, and there is going to be some optimal builds. So it's going to be down to you, commissioners. I don't expect to see these guys in tournament with the full menu. What I do expect to see in some tournaments and in some leagues is some preset versions, okay? And what I recommend is, if you're running a league and your guys really want to use mercenaries, let everybody design one, okay? Let everybody design one mercenary in your league, and have them available as an additional star player for all the league to take. And I recommend having a bit of a censor check, having a vote as to whether something is allowed in or not. So it might be great but to be honest with you, if the majority of your league wants to allow that 30k stunty build with a leader, then let them. Like, that's fine. If that's something your league is agreeing to do, that's okay. What I don't recommend doing is starting a league week. Like, you turn up to league week, you sit down, play your game, you go, hey, what's your TV? My TV's 1200. What's your TV? I'm 1000. Sweet. Now I get 200k to build exactly what I want. That's a leader stunty, that's a chainsaw, and then 100k to put on a block. It's just a lot of stuff. It's a lot of maths, and unless you've been playing Blood Bowl for a long time and you can come prepared to a week, that creates a ton of option, and it can cause some analysis paralysis. So give your players the opportunity to build mercenaries in the off weeks, and add them to like a menu of your league. Now when it comes to a tournament, this will allow you to build some star players for your tournament, which is actually really cool. So if you've got a particularly thematic star player, or there's something going on that you just want, so I like the Fen Beast from Albion, you can build a Fen Beast using these rules, and it's kind of alright. I actually think they're a little bit undercosted, and it can be very powerful. So I guess use with warning, but man, if you're like me and you love building stuff, this is awesome fun. Anyway, let me know what you think of Mercenaries in the comments below. I am genuinely interested, because there's a lot of yes and there's a lot of no about it. So let me know. Anyway, I'm going to wrap up the video, and we'll be back soon with more Blood Bowl content. Happy blocking. Thanks very much for watching. We really appreciate your support. If you want to support the show even further, please like and subscribe. It really helps us out. Or come and join us in our Patreon, link below, where you get early access to our content and monthly competitions. See you later.